Welcome back to Willis Nest. We got George here. And who's over there?
We got Josh.
We are on Season 3, Episode 8. What episode does that make it overall, Josh?
38.
38. Okay, if you knew,
I can do math.
I can't. I can't. If you're new, we play a Super Nintendo game each week. We spin a randomizer wheel so we don't get to pick it. So,
played some real shit games.
it got a couple of gems in there.
Got a few good bangers.
I will say, though, that I appreciate some games that most people say suck. They're not that bad when you play some at the bottom of the barrel.
That's 100% true.
So, last week, we made a prediction. I was wanting Uniracers, Lethal Enforcers. Josh got, he wanted a first-party game. We got Battlecars, which I guess I'm probably closer, because Uniracers is a racing game, and Lethal Enforcers, you shoot shit. So
it's a combination of both.
Yeah, I just had it wrong.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Battlecars, Josh?
I have not.
I have not either.
First thought, whenever we got it, was one or two things. Either a Demolition Derby style game, or like a very shitty Twisted Metal.
What if it was like just bumper cars at a fair?
Depends. Could I throw shit at other players?
Okay.
Or other people?
So, for those that...
And could I go backwards?
For those that have not heard... And this game was early on. I'll tell you the year in a minute. But for a game that we haven't ever heard of, Josh, do you want to hear what the back of the box says?
Dude, sell me on this. Because I'm not going to lie. Kind of enjoyed the game.
So, it comes across and it's got the font. It says Battlecars. Now, the front of it looks like a pretty action-packed. It's got like the porcupine vehicle.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah. You know... You kind of get the point when you see the front.
I said the cover art looked really good.
So it says Battlecars, Insane Speed Car Combat! Exclamation point.
Ooh.
That's all written in red.
All in red?
Now, Battlecars has got the font Insane Speed Car Combat, just normal, like block, and then it goes to white writing.
Okay.
Battlecars take... Let me go ahead and tell you, this is a story that you do not get in the game, just so you know.
Okay.
Battlecars takes place in the 22nd century. In the century beforehand, the greenhouse effect has taken a toll on the world. The polar ice caps have melted, causing countries to begin to go underwater. As a result, battles for territory become more fierce, causing confrontations to become nuclear, forever altering the landscape. You're a rookie driver in the new blood sport known as Battlecars, held by the IBCA, which stands for the International Battlecars Association, and your goal is to qualify for each race, then take out your rivals and eventually face the top driver of that circuit in a final fight for supremacy. Then it hits us with 4 bullet points. It says, special moves, side swipes, bootleg turns, and more. Second bullet point, speed like you won't believe. Exclamation point.
Okay.
Well, the first one had 2 exclamation points. I should point out. Third one, 8 throbbing megs of high-speed thrills.
Throbbing. Throbbing.
Megs. M-E-G-S. It ain't MBs. It's like a goddamn shark. 32
That's throbbing.
tire busting tracks. So you got 8 throbbing megs and 32 busting tracks. So a little more phallic than I originally read. But so they're painting this picture.
Hey, look, they called it. They got global warming.
I'm just saying,
right off the gate.
In the 90s especially.
Who are they talking to? Al Gore?
Right. Well, this is when he was like vice president, I think. So... You know, greenhouse effect was big, the hole in the ozone, everybody was so worried, but not really. And the other thing is like captures the essence of the 90s is 8 megs. Throbbing megs that is just nobody said throbbing in 1993.
No one says throbbing now unless you're doing a spicy chat with somebody.
Unless you're looking for a gift for fantasy football.
Okay, yeah, I will say that. So, that has been thrown in there multiple times.
So, Megs and talking about our polar ice caps, that is pretty naughty-ish. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not talked about now, but I feel like I was reading a newspaper article. Like, this was pretty in touch with what was happening.
Yeah.
So, Does that make you want to go battle for new territory? I mean, it says it gets it could get nuclear, Josh.
Dude, I'm all for it to feel the throbbing.
Well, you what does the next bullet point say? You keep your tire busting over there, buddy.
The tire busting.
All right, so this game came out in October 1993. It was developed by Malibu Interactive.
Malibu Interactive.
Fun facts on Malibu Interactive. They were originally called Acme Interactive. The founder of CinemaWare, Bob Jacobs, is the one that started the company. And this is the same group that started Malibu Comics, which I probably have some Malibu Comics sitting over here that I've dug out from the depths of my father's house. I don't think Malibu Comics had any. I mean, they were hot for a minute. This was when Dark Horse Comics, Malibu, Ultraverse, all this stuff was coming out. It was a little more than just Marvel and DC, which I kind of feel like ruled the space.
They still do.
And but there was a lot like indie. You know, this was when Spawn was coming out, so there was comics were getting a little more edgy. So they also, the Malibu Interactive did a lot of games. I wrote these down. For some reason, they did a lot of boxing games.
Okay. None
of them was Foreman for real. I will tell you, they were not that. But I mean, there was probably like 5 freaking boxing games on there. They did Mech Warrior 3050.
I'm down. I'll play it.
Jungle Strike.
Maybe.
Batman Returns.
Maybe.
Cliffhanger. It was just kind of weird.
Wait. The video game based off the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, like Arnold.
Not
Arnold Sylvester. Don't let me blasphemy the Governator.
You don't want to get yelled at.
And I just thought it was kind of a weird selection. The only thing they really did that was niche, I guess, was boxing games like they did, I think, ESPN boxing. There was like 3 or 4 of them. But I was just kind of like, well, they're just kind of developing whatever the hell they feel like, you know. Published by Namco. I don't really have to go into Namco. They're freaking monsters, you know. I don't think any... I think there's been a game on every system since the Super Nintendo that is the Namco Greatest Hits Museums, you know.
Yep.
And so, you know, Namco's Namco.
Or one of the greats. They are 100% one of the greats, and I will play anything that they give out.
And they may be the smartest fools in the world because they still sell the same game over and over, and people still buy.
Yeah, I will still pay $30 for the, like you said, the museum collection or whatever they put out at that time.
I mean, there's like, you've got like volume 1, 2, and 3 on, like, I think I've got a couple of volumes on the Wii, and it's like, I don't think I've ever played them, but you never know. You might want to just fire up Joust. I'm not sure if that's one of the Namcos, but it's like that style, old school arcade.
Yeah.
You know? So, I guess if you're going to explain this game, it's like, I put it down as futuristic battle racer. I don't know if that's a such thing. But as it says, it's kind of like Anarchy in the World, which was big in the 90s, you know. Everybody was damning the man, grunge music, all this stuff.
Grunge music was life at that point.
So, basically, you're in the post-apocalyptic world. You're going through 9 different levels. They give you 3 cars, different styles. What do they look like, Josh?
One car sort of looked like a typical American muscle. Yeah. Then the other one looked like more of a... I don't want to call it an Italian sports car, but it had that European look.
It was like if you took a...
It was more sleek.
I guess to me it was like, even though it wasn't, it was like an F1 style car. Like just the shaping.
Yeah.
It was like an F1 car, but like out of a Pinewood Derby box.
Yeah. I'll give you that one. And then the last one was the porcupine car.
The porcupine car.
Which I don't know what the hell that thing was, but...
Now... Each one of the cars, even though they look cool, there was not a difference between them.
Yeah, no.
But once you picked
color,
them, once you picked them, I didn't count how many colors. It was probably 6 or 8 different colors you could choose.
Yeah. Which one did you choose?
I went with the F1 looking car.
Oh, really? I went American Muscle.
And I went orange for my Tennessee Vols.
I went purple.
Well,
because
your LSU Tigers.
Well, no, that's my favorite color. So why not, right?
So, you know, as you're battling these people, it's, you know, there's single player, multiplayer, versus. Now, I didn't play multiplayer. I didn't play versus.
No, we
from what I gathered, that was the weakest part of it.
That's what I gathered too.
So, just playing the single mode is what we're going to get into. Is they really? I'm gonna have to save this. I'm just going to give you the basics.
Okay.
You had a cross country mode and then the battle mode.
Yep.
And so you would go across one of these post-apocalyptic racetracks. I guess you would say you were somewhat learning the track. I didn't really learn nothing.
Dude, you drive fast, you shoot shit.
You shoot shit, and basically you're trying to kill people in that cross-country to get money, because you can upgrade your car like any other
money
racing
or
game.
credits.
Yes. So what was it? The car upgrades was like turbo, engine.
Yeah.
And you needed money for it, right?
Yes.
And then credits was for your weapons.
Was for weapons.
And you had missile,
disc,
or
disc, mine, whatever, and chuckable bomb.
Yeah, like a grenade. It's what it looked like was a grenade. I don't know that I'd really call it a grenade other than the photo.
I got no idea. I was with you. I called them whatever crossed my mind at the time.
So you tried to kill as many people as you really could in cross country, I guess, in general, and you earned your money and your credits, and then you upgraded your car to play the next person. Each stage had a boss that gave you somewhat a very watered down 90s insult or smack talk, which was okay in my opinion. And so, you know, it kind of made it a little bit personal. And so after you beat the cross country, then you had to play that person and move on to the next stage until you beat all the stages. Is there anything that I've left out in this, Josh?
No, you didn't miss anything. I mean, like I said, you covered it. I mean, you covered it all the way down to the last throbbing Meg.
Just keep busting over there. And
why would they choose that verbiage?
All right, so I mean, it's a racing game. That's what it is. So I'm going to bring it in, and when we talk about racing game and fighting, I'm going to bring in to what makes the game. The startup screen wasn't nothing to write home about, but from the moment you look at the box, you read the back, you fire it up.
You chuckled at the back.
Yes. I feel like just starting this game up and going through the menus, the first thing that came out is I felt like I was playing a mashup between two games, FZERO and Road Rash. I'm like, I'm like, man, this is somewhere in between.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that because, I mean, FZERO is pretty good. Not my favorite game. I think it's, I've only played the earlier versions. I haven't played a lot of the Game Boy Advance and stuff. And it's good. I think it's a little more overrated than what I care for.
The only reason why F-Zero is still such a huge thing is because that's Nintendo's iconic
They don't have a big racing game.
Yeah, that's
you got Mario Kart and F-Zero.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, Road Rash was one of my favorite games to play on the Sega Genesis.
Sega really freaking rocked some Road Rash.
Dude, that was a fun fucking game.
So, you know, it was relatively easy to get into the stage. There really isn't, you know, things that make it, you know, you're racing, you're shooting shit.
Yep.
So, I mean, even like when I started off, of course, I didn't look at any button mapping or anything like that. I pull it up and first thing I do is I shoot like a damn rocket. Stage one, I'm like, okay, that is not the go button.
Yeah, to figure out buttons. Oh shit, rocket. Okay.
So, I mean, relatively, even if you couldn't figure out how to properly murder everybody else on the track, you could still go. It's still racing. So,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you were a really great racer, a really good fighter, you could go about it two different ways.
Yeah.
And I was cool with that.
Yeah, I even tested a theory. I mean, I didn't beat the game this way, but I beat several tracks of where I didn't fire a single missile or a single item. I just, you know, I upgraded my car where I could just outrace them.
Now, I do have in here, this is probably a little strange. I thought the levels are relatively short, but I think it was a good move.
Well, they're supposed to signify how fast you're moving.
Yeah, and with some of the stuff we come to in the break it, I feel like you got your strengths, you got your weaknesses.
They play to their strengths.
Yes, getting the level over with as quick as possible. I mean, it's like even some of the platformers that we play, like the Mickey and Minnie, or the Fievel. If they keep going on like some of these levels, like Mr. Nuts, you're losing something. It's like end it on a good note. End it while you're still having fun. And to me, the game was pretty challenging.
It was.
It wasn't like I came in here and I'm like, I'm going to run it on normal, then I'm going to run it on difficult. I never made it difficult. I didn't beat it on normal.
I didn't beat it either.
But one thing that was great is you pretty much had unlimited continues.
Yes, you did.
And you could continue during the battle, or if you felt like you were outmatched, outgunned, and you couldn't speed up, you could go back to the cross country where you could murder more people. Now, I didn't have no time for that. I just wanted to keep playing these motherfuckers, is what I wanted to do.
I had no time to backpedal.
Now, the bosses were pretty cheesy.
They were.
But I enjoyed the bosses. Like
I was about to say, they are not a make it or break it section for me. They were comical.
So, I don't know this. Like, I mean, we're going to compare it to FZERO just because that's what it really kind of looked like in places. I don't know that FZERO has any bosses talking trash to you there. So at least you put a face with it. That's what really made me have that Road Rash feel. And of course,
Road Rash talks a bunch of smack.
Yeah, and I mean, it was pretty goofy. Like, if you tried to talk smack like this to somebody now, they wouldn't even acknowledge that you were speaking to them.
Oh,
I mean, it was pretty weak.
Yeah, it was very weak. There was one thing I was waiting on, and I didn't get it.
What?
Get wrecked, scrub.
Oh, well, Scrub's a man that can't get no love from me.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out the pasture side of his best friend's ride. So,
listen, don't go chasing waterfalls. For y'all that don't know that reference.
They know the reference. There is absolutely...
But no, seriously, like, I mean... That's it. I was waiting for especially from I don't even know how to describe the boss. I want to say the punk goth girl.
Right.
I was waiting for her to say something like "get wrecked" or throw out a nerd.
Call you a poser.
Yeah, something.
Maybe they could have started at that point. It was probably when they were coming up with a noob like N00B or something.
Oh, yeah, the whole leet speed. Yeah.
Yes. So, one thing, though, talking about not beating the game, is it definitely felt like it was a game that you could beat as long as you kept playing it. Because it didn't cheat you with continues. If you thought the game was easy, that part probably would pitch. I thought it was pretty challenging. I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing ever. I thought there was a lot of luck involved in it. And but it's like, if I've got the time, as long as I'm going to sit here, I know we've had other games like that, like Space Megaforce, for instance. Tough game, but as long as you keep playing it, you're going to screw up and you're going to win that level sooner or later, whether you mean to or not, by hook or crook. And it was the same thing here. Is like, if you just keep continuing,
you'll fail into success eventually.
Yes, whether you hand it off to your buddy there or you just keep racing it, sooner or later you're going to screw up and win.
Yep.
And so that's one thing I did like. It was like, even if you weren't really great at this game, as long as you kept playing it and you could keep yourself motivated, there was a reward at the end for you. And I really only got one more thing for what makes the game, Josh.
I may be out on a limb on this one.
Okay.
I enjoyed the music.
You're out on a limb on that one.
Yeah, I figured.
Now, I do...
the reason why I like... This is my defense for the music. Is it was a dystopian era. This post-apocalyptic world and all that. We went Waterworld with it.
Right.
So what matches Waterworld? Synthesizers.
So you need Trans-Siberian Orchestra with synthesizers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And that's what I got from it. Because here's another thing that I may stand out on a limb on. But one of my favorite games is Oh shit! What's the name of it? I always call him Skullface, the little dude that does Megala Volia. Hang on, I gotta look it up.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What system?
Game Boy.
He's got a skeleton face.
Yeah, hang on.
Now, for me, music was in the break it side just for one reason, but I did have it that it worked okay, and I think
Undertale.
I remember you having a backpack of Undertale. I've never played an Undertale.
Dude, the synthesizers. Oh, so good.
So I've got one thing, but to go back to the music, I think the music worked fine in the game, but if you played this game, if you rented it and you played it over a weekend as a kid, it would get real old. The only reason the music was serviceable because the stages were pretty short.
Yeah.
I felt like.
Yeah, and that's probably why I stand out on a limb, is I didn't have to hammer this out from Friday to Monday.
Right.
So.
Now, here's my last thing, and then you can tell me if you got anything else on your heart, is that this was a game that, even though I didn't complete it, but if you completed it, there was a reward. They tried to give yourself some replayability. So if you beat it on normal difficulty, it'd tell you to beat it on a tougher one. And it opened up a new game mode it's the same game from the top down.
Yeah,
which
it's a top
for
view.
some reason gives me the idea of like the side view, like RC Pro-Am, not RC Pro-Am, like off-road. And like, I dig them old games like that.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, it was like, this game... Yeah, I'll leave a lot of this to the break it, but for what the game is, attempting to give yourself some replayability to
kudos to them.
Yeah.
Kudos. They tried.
So I've got nothing left on Make It on this, Josh. Is there anything that you got on your heart?
No.
I'm guessing your kids, they've just given up completely.
Oh, dude, I don't even ask them anymore. I don't even ask. If it's not Call of Duty, they don't care.
So I'm going to just go ahead and jump in on the break it then, since we've already talked about music. I think that was the only song in the whole damn game.
I think
that was the only one that I recall, and I'm just like, you got 8 throbbing Megs. You can't. I mean,
and one song.
It wasn't.
What's wrong with you?
It wasn't as bad as you would think. But it's like, come on, man, give me a little bit more, Even if it was like a song for the cross country and a song for the I don't know. Now, like I say, if each level was like a 5-minute circuit or an 8-minute circuit, I would slit my wrist. It would drive me absolutely freaking bonkers. But I feel like every match that I played was like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes tops.
I wouldn't even go 3 minutes. Well, okay, maybe the boss battle was a little longer. Maybe.
I don't know. Now, I'm going to put this on here just because I got to say it. Because, like I say, if you want to try to imitate some shit, go for the best. But this really did look like an FZERO knockoff with just different sprites for the vehicles.
100%.
Like, I mean, even to the circle boundaries on the outside. Definitely.
I think even one of the cityscapes looked very similar to F-Zero.
Well, it's kind of funny you bring up the cityscapes.
Because I can't remember. Is F-Zero in a dystopian era, or is he just future tech?
I think it's just futuristic. And it's been a while since I've played an F-Zero.
Same here, dude. It's been forever.
But it's kind of funny that you talk about that. Like this, I feel like some of the cityscapes in the distance was okay, but there's certain things, and I put it in the break it, but there's certain things that really hurt the Super Nintendo when you go back and you play it. It's just the limitations. Like, go back and play Mario Kart and look at the sides, like the outside of the courses. Like, it's tough nowadays. Like, we've got so accustomed. And F-Zero is the same. So even though I thought that the cityscapes in the background was good, looking at the actual boundaries and the outside of the course as you were zooming by, they looked horrible. But I have in here too, I put parentheses. It's just like F-Zero or Mario Kart. as you zoom by. It's just a blur that you can't really make out. You'll get yourself damn motion sick trying to look at it. But I guess that's just why I gotta say that was an issue with Super Nintendo racers. Yeah. So I have to put that in there, but I don't know that you could have fixed that with your 8 throbbing megs and tire busting tracks or whatever.
Probably not. I mean, maybe 9 throbbing megs.
I don't know. Well, I gotta throw this out there. The fuck was that red bar in our screen? I don't think I ever figured out what the hell it is.
I think it had to be your health, right?
I don't know if
it had to be.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could come up with.
So
I don't know.
As you're racing,
it wasn't fuel.
As you're racing through here, there's a red bar on the left side of the screen that says, and I don't know if it's like, so it's at like 4.6 and 3.8. I don't know if that's how far ahead the guy is of me or the guy behind me. Because when I'm in first, it's still, I'm shooting missiles. I don't know when I have missiles. I'm spamming missile button. Oh, of course, right when I go around a curve or a disc, shoot it. And it's like, fuck. And then I have to wait for like another 8 seconds. As soon as I get another one, I do the same damn thing. And I'm over here like, what the fuck is this red meter in the left side of the screen do? And I'm sure it probably did serve something, but it didn't do shit for me. And I'm just like, why the fuck is this even here?
Yeah, I thought it was health. I don't know.
I mean, it served no purpose.
No, it was absolutely
for the way that I played this game. It had no bearing. I would look over at it like every so often, like I'm getting smoked or I'm winning. I'm like, what's this mean? It's like jack and shit right here. Is like,
hey, this could have fixed it. They would have removed the red bar. Then the 8 throbbing meds could have put a new score in there. A different music.
If you could have throbbed a mini map with racers on it, like Mario Kart, not even that high tech. Okay, I could have dealt with that.
Give me a mini map with the little dots and just make me green.
Like I just felt like just take it off. Like leave it off of there.
It was terrible.
I'm just like I'm an idiot because I do not know what it is, and I'm like, you know what? It don't matter what this is.
No, I'm still winning.
Well, either there was no winning or losing based off that.
No, there wasn't. You didn't know.
So
that's one of my biggest things. Did they really tell you whenever you entered first place?
No, there was
or was it just you guessing and hoping that you made it in first place?
So, all right. This cross country was a mess.
It was terrible.
There was no real point of it other than to get money. And I'm like, you know
what?
Money
and credits.
Give me money for like make it a qualifying race to how you start that. I don't give a shit. Make that race some bearing. Because I'm going to get into this in a bit, but it was just like, yeah, the only way that I know that I'm in first is because there's a flashing car of a boss behind me. But, even when they get ahead of you, you couldn't really see them unless you get seen them around a corner or something. It was like, there's nothing that said you're first. You never knew where you were on the map. It didn't say, hey, here's how many cars you've destroyed. Hey, here's how much. There was a lot that was lacking on it. Like the HUD was pretty lacking. And I'm just going to throw this out here. And this is probably one of my bigger ones. But for a game that's focusing on racing and fighting, the racing and the fighting kind of sucked.
It did.
So here's what my problem is. Okay, pick your poison. You want your damn missile. You want your damn disc mine. You want your grenade, bomb, whatever. I shoot one of these motherfuckers. And it hits them, and it stops them for a split second. But you know what it does? It runs into me because it doesn't blow them up. You got to hit them like 2 or 3 times. I was like, okay, well, number 1, give me a power meter on the back of these dudes. Yep. Number 2, I'm pretty sure if you hit me with the missile, that's good enough. That's a green turtle shell, right? Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't drive into somebody in Mario Kart with a green turtle shell once you spun them out, but it's like when you got somebody lined up, you better spam the button. And because if you don't blow them up, it's fucking you worse than it is them if you hit them.
Yep.
And so that was a problem that I really had. It was like, I'm still shooting people, and it's spinning them out. And as I'm either running into them or passing them by, it's not even killing them. So when I get done with cross country or at the boss spots, then it never really helped me.
Yeah.
It never gave me money because I didn't finish this guy off. So I just hit the brakes and keep this fucker in front of me and just keep blasting him because, like, that's not really fun in racing to me.
No, and here's my biggest downfall with that whole aspect, too. Is, okay, so did it seem to you like the enemies wanted to be shot? Because how many times did you try to go around somebody and they got back in front of you and you rear-ended them and then it slowed you down?
Well, I was spamming my fire button as much as possible. And I was hitting some fools. And I was hitting them once and not killing them. So, yeah, these assholes, I was hitting them and spinning them out, but they were tearing me down. Now, going around curves, yes, absolutely. They had knuckle deep up my ass is what they were. Not enjoyable. And it's going to come down to, like, so it's like you're giving me a racing game, and it's not F-Zero, but it's okay. You give me a little bit more. You give me like a Road Rash.
A little Mario Kart.
But it's not as fun as either of them. And the fighting mechanism, to be honest, kind of sucked a little bit of it. It was lacking to me. So it come down to, like, when I'm racing, it ain't really that fun to me. No. Is what it was. It's like, so the whole appeal of this game is I'm going to race in this post-apocalyptic world. I will say one thing that I did appreciate that we missed and make it was some of the names of the towns. Like instead of Detroit, it was New Troy. And that was pretty 90-ish there.
Yeah,
and I bet people are like, "Whoa, it's not Detroit, it's New Troy." And it was pretty goofy, and I did appreciate that. But the races weren't really fun. They were okay. They were okay because they were short, which I tip my hat to. But it was just like, you give me a racing game that the racing aspect of it's okay at best, and the fighting aspect, I either just really suck at it or I'm not any good at it.
I think it was subpar, personally.
So, I mean, one thing that does work out for it is, once again, there ain't really a whole lot of racers on it. So, but, the last thing I'm going to leave it with is the game is a pretty plain game. When you break it down, when you look at the box, you see these explosions, you see the cars. Well, just because you want a porcupine car, that don't make no difference. Until you soup it up. And, when you break it down to what the game is, it was a pretty plain racer to me.
It was.
And, I'm not saying in 93 that there's really a whole lot that, I couldn't give it constructive criticism because I don't know what you really could have did other than maybe make the HUD a little bit more palatable. But, I got to keep in mind that this was 93. I guess you did what you could, but I've just felt like for what I would expect going back now. Now, mind you got a game that I've never played, and it's cool, especially coming off another really crappy game. But I just thought it was a very plain game. I don't know.
It was. I said it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't that big of an ordeal, personally. But I still respect for what they tried to do. They tried to give you a variation of a racer game. And with that being said, there was several aspects that were good, but it wasn't great. And I wish that there was a way for it to be better.
Well, keep this in mind. F-Zero came out in 1990. So even though this was 93, F-Zero was out in 1990. Road Rash was out in 1991. I feel like F-Zero was a better racer.
Mario Kart came out.
Let me look. It had to be 90 if I had to guess.
I thought it was 91 or 92. I'm not for sure because I think it came out roughly in the same time frame.
92. You're right. August 27th, 6 days after my birthday. Just saying.
August 27th?
August 27th. I'm a 21ster myself.
That was either my brother's birthday or my mom's. They were born roughly around the same time frame.
Well, so I feel like you shoot your shot, you do what you can, but like you were a couple of years after some of these, and I guess probably one thing too is Nintendo was you didn't have games like Road Rash on Nintendo then.
No,
and even to this day, I still think you're off of it a little bit. Like some of the Mortal Kombats and stuff like that. I still think you get it a little nerfed down on like a Switch or something like that.
I don't think it's as...
Did they ever even get Grand Theft Auto?
No, but they got The Witcher 3.
Well, yeah. And I just, but especially back in the 90s, Nintendo was very more protective. They wanted to stay cartoony as
they were very
life.
Non-realistic as possible.
So the last thing,
even True Lies, like even all those other games we played, I don't think there was blood. I think they just flashed and fell over.
Well, it was like, now I do know that you had to type in a code, I think, on Mortal Kombat, or turn on the blood. But yeah, like, even King of Dragons, that was an old arcade game that just because the head of a Hydra fell off, they made it shift a couple frames over, I guess, to hide a little bit of the gore.
Yeah.
But you know, at the end of the day, Nintendo's the family system. You know? And probably I'll go ahead and tell you, if you look and see how many freaking units the Switch has sold, these SNES minis, NES minis, they're still the family console.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying there ain't families that love their PlayStations and Xboxes. I do. I probably prefer them over the new Nintendo stuff. But I go ahead and tell you, you go to a freaking birthday party or an event and tell me you don't see a kid playing a Switch Lite out there. You know?
I mean, hell, you could even go right now to say, I mean, just me. I can go to one of my friends' houses right now, have a get together. Dude, if I pull out a Nintendo Switch with 4 controllers and I got Mario Party, Mario Kart, or Smash Brothers loaded up, dude, it's turning into a tournament.
Well, and you know, you can argue who's on the Mount Rushmore. If you can say, though, it's like, who is the most known freaking character? It's Mario, period, you know.
It's either Mario, Pac-Man, or Sonic, depending on where, but I'm with you. I think Mario is number 1, 100%.
So, at to wrap up this game, my final note on it is, I feel like I wanted to like this game more than I did. I'm not saying that this is the worst game that I've played ever, and it's not the worst game of this season. It is definitely way better than Airstrike fucking Patrol last week.
Yeah.
It was, to me, this was a little bit of a palate cleanser. Looked really cool. I enjoyed it for a few minutes, and then it just, you know, you were left wanting a little bit. But like when I tell you it's FZERO mixed with Road Rash, or it's just a fighting racing game, I feel like you kind of put it, like, you have your high hopes.
Yeah.
And it fell a little short.
Yeah, it didn't deliver on the high hopes. There's one thing I'm surprised you didn't mention that I have still left on the break.
Okay, come at me with it.
I didn't like the controllers.
You are right.
The controls were... The turning was okay. But like you said, the missiles, the gas, and everything else...
You're right.
Did not enjoy it.
I think the controls were probably a little more crisp as far as turning than what I expected.
Yeah.
But I felt you are 100% right. They could have did better with the button mapping.
They really could have.
I do think, now that you said this, you've got me on another thing. This is something that I've completely overlooked. I felt like it was very poor when I was upgrading my missiles and upgrading my disc, that I could only, it was so hard, like, disc was all I could throw, it seemed like.
Yeah.
I couldn't find my other things. So, like, hey, I've got an L, I've got the R's, which I do know that those help turn, but I had extra buttons there. Like, give me at least 2 of these weapons that I can use.
Give me a cycle. Like, give me a cycle. Give me a little icon that tells me what weapon I'm using.
I just don't know why you couldn't use, like, one of the 4 buttons as go, and the other 3 buttons as the 3 weapons.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that one thing that was incredibly hard, and I'm not blaming the game on this, but I was going around this curve, and it was that girl, like, stage 3.
Yeah.
And I'm over here just like freaking Mario Kart, feel like I'm power sliding.
Yeah.
And she basically put her throbbing 8 megs in my face. And it hit me so hard it spun me around backwards. And trying to get out of, like, so it pops up and keeps going like reverse or backwards.
Yeah.
Trying to get turned around was a lot tougher than I thought if you weren't using the damn L's and R's.
It was miserable.
But you are right. I do think that some of the button mapping could have been better. I don't think the controls were horrible. But I'm like, we got these weapons, or even give me a turbo button. Like, I feel like I never had like a turbo boost. other than upgrading it. Now, I may be wrong on that, but I never felt like it.
I didn't think so.
If there was one, it was like Mr. Nuts. I didn't know I was going fast.
You didn't know you got that extra jump?
Yes.
That long jump?
No, you were right. I'm glad you brought that up. The controls were serviceable, but you could have did better with them as well.
I mean, the buttons were, like I said, the controls, the turning and everything like that. It worked. It wasn't as crisp as I liked, but it was serviceable. But the mapping could have been a lot better.
And at the end of the day, too, this is Malibu Interactive. You know, they were relatively new to the scene. They did a lot of boxing games. Didn't really have a whole lot of racers. So,
yeah,
you know, they're just, you know, they end up getting into the comics and a little bit more, but it was like, I think what we say it was Jungle Strike, one of the Mech Warrior games.
Mech Warrior, Jungle Strike, and Cliffhanger.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not that any of those I don't think are really bad, it's just none of them are really great. So, I don't have nothing else to beat up on the game, Josh.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so I don't really have any fun facts. The only fun fact I had was you could do the top-down racer as a difficulty. So I've got...
Which, I'm not going to lie, I did cheat and got the cheat code and typed it in.
Okay.
Played it. Man, that's fucking hard.
I'm unusually good at that.
I'm not. I'm absolutely terrible.
It reminds me of like Grand Theft Auto 1.
Yeah,
no,
I'm absolutely terrible.
Well, I'm good when it's good, but when I hit a wall and it's all fucked, then I'm really fucked. But like, as long as I keep it between the lines and I'm bouncing along, but heaven forbid I come to a complete stop, it's bad. Then yeah, you're right. So I have, I guess to wrap it up, we got price charting, we got speed runs. So I guess you're wanting speed runs, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Now I'll go ahead and tell you, I tip my hat. There's 2 motherfuckers that have did speed runs. 2 of them have did it on easy. The same 2 have did it on medium, and one of them owns the only hard record.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you the
What
names.
about top down record?
They did not have one. They had it for any percent easy, any percent medium, any percent hard.
Okay.
So easy. I tip my hat to both you fools. The second place guy is KLM1187. Now with all this,
hang on.
Kill him. 187 is murder on a motherfucking cop. So that's the song right there. 187. Kill him 187. Maybe it's kill him one cop. I don't know. I love cops, but
I was about to say that sort of sounds like a radio network. You know, like
KLM 1187 on the AM radio.
Yeah.
So now, with all this being said, KLM set his records or her records, or they, them, whatever pronoun they go by, 3 years ago. So this other guy,
relatively new.
So the other guy did the 2 years ago. He came in and swept
he said the hell.
So
with
I
you.
don't know if KLM's still alive, if they care. I don't know. Okay. I tip my hat to both. Okay,
that's a question that I got. Like, do you get notified if your speed runs beat?
I would think so.
Like, is there a mailing order?
There should be.
Is there like a list you gotta get on?
I would think that you get an email and it says, "Can't believe what this bitch called you," or you're a bitch. That's what they say. You're a bitch.
It's just a phone call. It's just like Battlecars, bitch, and it hangs up on you. That's what I want.
You've been hit like a bad bag of weed, right?
Yeah, something.
So KLM on any percent easy, what would you guess? Now there's a 27-second difference between these fools,
dude.
What do you think a speed run is on easy on this? It's less than what me or you could do. This is not our speed run game right here. We gotta go back to Pac-Man for that. Miss Pac-Man.
Only on co-op, though.
Yes, absolutely. And like on Expert or whatever the shit it is.
See, I want to say like 20 minutes, but I know that's not it.
That's hot, but you're in the range.
I figured, like...
So KLM pioneered this 3 years ago and laid down at 15 minutes, 37 seconds.
Okay.
There is a comment that I've seen. I may have to go back and see what Pro Fiction has said. So the person who won it, his name is Pro Fiction. He did it in 15 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh.
So...
Did he make the comment?
He did.
Oh, shit.
That's what I'm pulling up right now. I did not see it.
Did he call out? Did he call them a bitch?
No, these people are civilized. They're probably like, for tips, holler. I don't know. I'm pulling it up right now.
See, that's why I can't be a speedrunner.
I'm a very poor sport. God, come on. What's that say?
Dude, if I ever won a speed run, you best believe that I'm just like dragging my nuts across whoever I just overtook.
So it's a description. It was basically saying what emulator he ran it off of.
Oh, that's it? Oh.
So the same two people in the same order did it on medium percent. So there is a considerable difference and a considerable time difference.
Okay.
At medium percent, KLM did 42 minutes, 17 seconds.
Okay.
That's probably what it would take me on easy.
Yeah, probably. Same here.
Pro Fiction, now that is about 17 minutes, 16 and then some change more than what their easy run was.
Yeah.
Pro Fiction did it in about... I'm doing math.
Carry the one.
About 20 minutes more, a little bit more.
Okay, so you had to carry the two.
Yes, and I'm not feeling confident. I'm just going to tell you this. I sold something on eBay. There, somebody asked me a question about something that came out of a cereal box, and I said, "Yeah, that it came out in the '80s. That was like 20 years ago." And they're like, "Hey, bro, like." It came out like 1983. That was 36 years ago, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!" And like it was like 30 years ago. It was like, "Fuck," you know. It's like, and then they didn't even buy it from me. I'm like, "You're a dickhead," but I still appreciate you calling me out on that. So Pro Fiction did it in 36 minutes 51 seconds. Now, mind you,
okay, and the first time was what?
15:10. Are you checking my math? I said it was what, like 16 minutes?
You said it was 20.
Or 20 minutes. That is about right. 15 minutes was easy. 36:51 was medium.
Yeah.
Now, the tip you had to KLM, he wasn't playing, or him or her weren't playing on a emulator. The person that's coming in second was playing on an actual Super Nintendo.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, KLM was on a real one, and Pro Fiction is like the rest of the world on emulation.
Okay.
So, Pro Fiction is a bad motherfucker, is all I've got to say. Because you're not going to believe it. He's the only person, or her, or they, or them, to complete a hard on any percent.
So, not even KLM?
KLM didn't even hang this one up.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, Pro Fiction did it in 36 minutes, 51 seconds.
On hard.
On medium.
Medium.
On hard, they did 36 minutes, 52 seconds. One motherfucking
That's
second.
ridiculous.
That is nuts. Oh my God, KLM's got a damn comment on one of these. You would think that
God, here we go. Shit talking.
Okay. So KLM shares a description. First attempt at this difficulty. Very sloppy, needs to be polished, but wanted to get something on the board for now. So KLM on medium percent's like, hey, there ain't a speed run. I'm just putting this out there for you fools. This game deserves to have it. So fair enough.
Way to be a gentleman, I guess.
And he was us. He's like, hey, I'm going to get one speed run.
Very sloppy, though. Very sloppy.
Sloppy. Yeah.
So.
All right. So that is all the speed runs there. And I was very entertained by the speed runs.
Okay. So hang on. I got a question. When did KLM do the medium speed run?
So KLM did the normal, the easy, and the normal.
Yeah.
Both 3 years ago.
Okay. And
Pro Fiction did all of theirs, all three. They swept it 2 years ago. So KLM may have been like, I'm just done with it.
No, I don't think KLM knows. I think again, we need a mailing list. We need a phone call. You need something.
Do you want me to see if I can... I have no account on speedrun.com, just so you know. Do you want me to create a Wheel of SNES account so we can try to attempt to get a hold of KLM?
Yes!
Now, you're going to have to remind me because I got to forget this in like 3 minutes after this.
I will put a sticky note on your computer.
I will see if we can get KLM to actually respond.
Because then...
I should probably not title the email hey bitch, or something like that. I'm just saying.
Are you working on Battlecars speedrun, motherfucker?
Battlecar bitch is what it. I didn't get the speed run. I'm just talking shit for someone else.
We got questions.
This is so bad. If we can get in touch with these folks, there is a forum that you can actually post in. I want one of you guys to come on the podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Lay Hulk,
here we come back.
Lay Hulk, we can't afford him.
We get Lay Hulk.
Lay Hulk is like, no, you stupid Americans.
We don't know that.
Oh yes, we do. He is not. He is.
Oh, is he French?
I think he is French.
I thought we were undecided on Lay Hulk.
Hang on. Hard hitting podcasting right here.
Because I
don't have no Jamie like freaking.
We don't have a guy in a chair. You are the guy in the chair.
Son of a bitch! I'm not gonna be able to find him. I'm trying to think of what. Shit, what was it like? I can't remember some of the early games. I know he was on all of them.
I know Lay Hulk. Let's see here. Wasn't they on? Fuck.
Got it. I got him. He is from Providence, Alpes, Côte d'Azur, France.
Okay.
He has been speedrunning for 8 years. And he's quite the feller.
He's got a list.
I'll go ahead and tell you, just to get 8 throbbing megs of Lay Hulk right here. He is the speedrun on the Great Circus Mystery, Mickey and Minnie, Tom and Jerry, Demon Crest, Goof Troop. The list goes on and on. He may be the GOAT of Super Nintendo here.
Okay.
Gold Patrol, Animaniacs.
You can't call him the GOAT whenever.
Super Adventure, the GOAT.
You can't even call him that.
Dude, he's got like, I'm just looking here and there's like 50 number 1 speedruns for this cat. Mr. Nuts, that was one of them. He's second in Super Star Wars. Spanky's Quest. Anyways, this is a whole different. We may dedicate a whole episode
just to Lay
Hulk. So I will be creating the account sometime this weekend, and please, not that anybody from speedrunning.
Oh, absolutely!
You should probably not respond to us and all this.
But if you do,
okay,
it's gonna be entertaining.
we ain't paying you shit. But you can come in here and call us stupid.
I will gladly accept you chewing us and cussing us out.
Alright, so we go into price charting. I've not really got any fun facts with it. I feel like the fun facts was out there. Like the hidden game mode. I feel like the Malibu comics. And it's like, but I think I needed to mention that coming in. You know, so it kind of burned a few what I would call fun facts. And like I said, the game overall was kind of plain. But, Josh... Now, I'm pretty close on loose and complete in box. Of course, I'm going price charting.
Price charting on eBay.
Yeah, price charting on the new one. Because I didn't have any on eBay. What do you think a loose copy of this runs, Josh?
I would personally feel comfortable dropping 20 on this. 20, 25.
I had a... What did you say?
20 to 25.
I had a feeling that you were going to tell me $20. Do you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Price charting had it at $19.98.
Yep.
Shipped on eBay, I seen it for $24.
Yep. Okay.
This one might throw you for a bit.
Did you buy it?
I have not bought it. No. I didn't do my price charting and stuff. So I did my price charting. Didn't do my eBay till today. I run into a lot of these that say it's cheap, but there's not a whole lot there for me to find.
Yeah.
So I psyched myself. I bought the helmets today, so I wasn't really in a video game buying mood. So, complete in box, what do you think? It's $5 difference between eBay and price charting.
75? 80?
No. Would you imagine that I'm about to tell you you're a little bit high?
Really?
Yes.
Because I only tripled. I didn't.
I was like, if you triple it, you're going to be wrong.
Yeah, I didn't times it by 4, so I tripled it this go around. I go back and forth between tripling it and then multiplying by 4.
Okay.
So, like I said, I went 75, so it's less than that.
So I feel like when you say 75, anything less than that, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Okay. What do you, okay, dial it back a little bit.
Let's go 58.
Dude, you're on your game. Completed box for price charting's 55. eBay, I seen it roughly was about $60 on average, you know.
See, I was thinking about saying 55 and 60, so I cut it in the center and done 50.
Which I'm going to say for the game, to get a complete in-box copy for $60 shipped, there's worse values out there.
There's a lot worse values.
So, now I didn't see any new ones on eBay. What do you think a new one was running on price charting? Now, this is always going to be the wild card.
That's always the wild card.
Yes, and there's no rhyme or reason if it's $1 million or $12. What do we say? We've had some that are like a difference of like $10 from complete in-box to new.
Yeah.
And we've had some that's $1,000 from complete in-box to new.
No, if I'm not mistaken, I think Five Goes West was like almost 10 grand.
I can't remember. I know it was outrageously expensive.
Yeah,
It was like play Mickey and Minnie. It's better.
Yeah, it was outrageous.
It's not a bad game. The price is freaking stupid.
I would probably say 180.
Dude, 176.
176. Okay.
I've got to start taking you to them junk stores with me. Tell me, I ain't even going to look it up. I'll be like, Josh, what do you think? So,
well, see, okay, I'll tell you this. I cheated a little bit on this one.
Okay.
Because I didn't multiply my original number.
Okay.
I multiplied the number that you gave me on this one.
Okay, that's not bad. So, a new copy, $176. There's no way in hell I'm spending that money.
No.
I don't care for new. I mean, I have new stuff. I have like 3 new, I think, Super Nintendo games. And they're games that I can go buy very cheaply if I don't already own a copy that's not. Because I want to play my games. Complete in box, $55 and $60 isn't bad for a Super Nintendo game. And loose, $20-$25, you know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Josh.
See, here's my thing, is with that pricing, I think the only way I would probably pay complete in box or new, would just be me, is if you had a Malibu collection.
Well, I mean, if you sit here and you told me this thing sells 20, 55, and 60, and I go in there not seeing one for 40, I'd probably buy it for 40.
Yeah, I'd snatch it up.
Complete.
Yeah.
With a good box or one that's, it ain't going to be perfect.
But also with the new price, you could have bought 2 more helmets.
No, with the new price, I could have bought 3.5 more helmets. So, at the end of the day, we're going to say it's $19.98, $24. We're going to call it $20.
$20? Yeah.
Would you take this game or would you take a $10 bill? Have one in each hand. What would you
I'd probably keep the game on this one.
I would keep the game, but, you know, $20 I feel a lot better than $25. Like, that is the appropriate. I feel like this game, the loose, the complete in box, and new is appropriately priced.
Yeah, I think it's priced very adequate.
If you came in here and said, I bought a brand new freaking Super Nintendo game, and it's, and I'd be like, oh shit, is it a sports game? You're going to be like, no. I'm going to be like, dude, how many hundreds of dollars? Like, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Or if you say I bought a complete in box game, that would probably hit me more, and I'll be like, is it a sports game? And you're like, no, but I got it for $50. And you show me the cover, I'll be like, okay, you probably did pretty good.
You found a deal.
Yeah, like, I mean, and it's a game that I'd never heard of. It's like, now, at the end of the day, the game wasn't horrible. It just wasn't great.
Yeah.
It, like I say, it was a pretty plain game.
No. It wasn't bad.
So,
it wasn't great.
So, I'm really torn where I'm going to go with this. And, you want me to go first? Or you want me to read yours first and let you?
Oh, I was reading my list.
If you can read my writing.
Look, we haven't had enough beers yet for your redneck hieroglyphs to actually become hieroglyphs. So
I don't know.
I can read it. We good.
Okay.
I mean, your patrol is a little off.
I already wrote it over here.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't even know that says patrol.
I don't either.
So on Josh's list, he's got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, King of Dragons, Pieces at number 3, Miss Pac-Man at 4, Mario's Missing at 5, Foreman for Real, and Air Strike Patrol ASP. At number 7. Do you know where you're going to place Battlecars at?
I think I know where I'm going to put it.
Are you gonna sound it out for us, or do you want me to go first and see if it sways you one way or another?
No, I think I'm good. I think I can sway you.
Okay.
Honestly, on this.
Well, I'm a little indecisive on it, so Is it better than Airstrike Patrol?
Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. Foreman for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct. Mario's missing.
Yep.
I'm in agreement, so I'm checking down my list too. Is it better than Mrs. Pac-Man? Might be where it starts getting tough.
It gets a little tough right here. But yes.
I agree. So you've got this. This is in the top half of this season. So you got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, King of Dragons, and Pieces. Is it better than Pieces?
I want to say yes on Pieces. And it all comes back to the fact that we didn't get to play party mode.
Okay.
You know, it's definitely not better than King of Dragons.
So you're saying Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are the best, King of Dragons, and then you're putting Battlecars above Pieces.
That's okay. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hold the fuck up.
I'm just reading the script that you laid out here.
I'm going to sound this out because I may actually sway myself.
Okay. So you.
Yeah, I don't know yet. So, I said Pieces was a good game.
Okay.
It was a jigsaw puzzle game
Correct.
that I actually enjoyed. I never thought I would enjoy a jigsaw puzzle game. But after we got done playing and reviewing it, you showed me the party mode. And that I immediately went, dude, that would be fucking fun.
Okay.
With party mode. This game, multiplayer mode, was horrible.
I do think it is a horrible multiplayer.
We did not touch bases on how bad multiplayer, because we just done straight campaign. We just done straight one player. But I'll go ahead and tell you this. The multiplayer mode is they get rid of all the background but the track.
That's pretty lame.
That's literally it. It's you and another car, split screen, the track, and no cityscape, no nothing, no outside boundaries, no graphic whatsoever.
Okay.
That's terrible.
I agree. Why have it if you're not going to use it?
Why have it whenever you don't fulfill? You had 8 throbbing meds, and you couldn't achieve that one? So with that being said, even though I didn't get to play Pieces party mode, Pieces is better than this game.
Alright, so you've got Battlecars coming in at number 4.
Number 4. It's still on the mountain.
So you've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, King of Dragons, Pieces. Number 4, you got Battlecars, which bumps Miss Pac-Man down to number 5. Mario is missing at 6, Foreman for Real at 7, and Airstrike Patrol at number 8.
Because let's face it, the reason why I can justify it better than Miss Pac-Man, it's a Pac-Man game.
I will tell you, I've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, King of Dragons, Pieces, Mario's missing, Miss Pac-Man, Foreman for Real, Airstrike Patrol. You're 100% right. It's better than Airstrike Patrol, Foreman for Real, Mrs. Pac-Man, Mario's missing. I thought Mrs. Pac-Man would be tougher for you than it is me, but I hate Pac-Man, apparently. I've played too much Pac-Man.
You probably have. Which is fine, because, I mean, there is a slight age gap between me and you.
So I'm trying to go back in to see, because I did like Pieces and King and Dragons. And looking at it now, and I know it's been 2 weeks since we've did that, I feel like I could still change. I could interchange King of Dragons and Pieces. I'm trusting my gut. I'm keeping it there. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is definitely better than this. The problem is King of Dragons and Pieces is close. It's like, I don't know if I have Battlecars above it or below it. I'm going to tip my hat to King of Dragons and Pieces, because I think King of Dragons is probably an older game, if I'm remembering correctly.
It was ported over.
And Pieces, you took a jigsaw puzzle. And if you're going to make me compare, if I told you, hey, let's play a game, even though it's Atlas Software, or Atlas East, or West, or whatever it was, I think it was Atlas West. We've got 2 games to play here, Josh. And you take your pick of what we play first. We're going to play a game that's a mix between FZERO and Road Rash called Battlecars, or we're going to play a jigsaw puzzle game. Who is going to want to play the jigsaw puzzle game?
No.
And I think the jigsaw puzzle game did more with less.
It did.
And so
also, the music was banging in Pieces.
Yep. And I'm going to put Battlecars at number 4 as well. And I think that's probably appropriate, because it's To me, it's a pretty plain game. It's not horrible. But
it's not great.
It's one of those sandwich games for me. You're not going to get... There's more story on the back of the box than you're going to get through the damn game. And you're not going to find the meaning of life playing this game, but it's going to be okay. You just want to sit there and eat some crystals and smash some Code Red on the couch.
Spoiler alert, answer life is 42.
Yeah. But you're not going to get that from this game.
No, you're not.
There is a couple of fads I feel like they touch on that gives you some nostalgia, but I mean, it's an okay game. And that's it. Not going to be a top 100 from me.
Yeah, so it was literally like middle of the road.
If you told me, bad. If you said, "Hey, let's play this game as soon as we go back upstairs," I'd be like, "Really? Okay." But like, if it was like 2 or 3 weeks, and you're like, "Hey, let's throw up Battlecars again," I could probably mess with it for probably about half an hour.
Yeah.
And that would be about what I would want.
And that's where it's at.
And there's a lot of these games, even probably King of Dragons, that I'm probably like, you know what? I think I've had my fill. I don't know. And so I guess that is something to be said about it.
And that's where it falls. Like I said, it's not bad. It's not great. It's right there in the middle of the road.
So I guess I don't have anything left to put into this, Josh. So all we're going to do is a quick prediction. What do you think the next week's going to be? We got 2 games left in this season. And even though Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a good game, compared to some of the other number 1 games in the previous seasons, it wasn't... It's not the same caliber.
Yeah, it's not the same caliber.
It is definitely number 1 this year, or this season.
Yep.
But... Do you think it's going to be our bet? What's your prediction?
I think we summoned it.
What did we summon?
I think we summoned FZERO.
You think we got FZERO? What about Mario Kart? What if it was either one of them?
Yeah. I think we summoned a top racing game.
Okay, so I'm going to call a game that I don't know why I'm going to call it, but it's weighed on me. Today, like in the past 20 minutes. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking for any correlation. Like season 1 was Will of Amiga, and then we got
season 2 was all duplicates.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here looking, and we played Airstrike Patrol, which is a combat flying game, and
combat simulator,
a combat racing game. So it should be a combat game of some sort. And instead of just copping out because there's a lot of combat.
I want to pause you just for a second.
Okay.
Just for a second. Because we did do the doubles is King of Dragon and Power Rangers. Those were side stroller beat 'em ups.
Okay.
I give you that.
Are you saying in pieces there's not another puzzle game on there?
There's not. There's also not another sports game. Unless you count this racing game.
I would not consider this a
sports?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that, and then there's also a trivia game.
Well, I'm going to go outside of this. So I've got my mind on combat. And a game that I don't think I particularly liked when it came out, because I only ever played it with like beast mode folk. And I got...
Dude, if we get Contra, I'll be ecstatic.
I actually thought about Contra earlier this week. I think we're going to get Killer Instinct.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Killer Instinct. I'm going to one... I'm going to say it's a fighter. We're going to get a versus fighter, a Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, Street Fighter. I got Killer Instinct. That's what I'm calling.
Okay.
And I know that a lot of people love that game. I do not have fond memories playing it, but I feel like it is probably a really good game.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with a top tier racing game.
Top tier racing. All right, well, I guess we're going to draw it out, and we're going to see.
Let's say, is Allie going to draw with us, or did she steal your truck again?
She has not stole my truck. It is too late for her to get out with her pirate patch. But whether she wants to fuck with us, I don't know. So we'll have to find out.
All right, let's do it.
See ya.